Do you catch yourself questioning your own decisions? Does taking any big decision make you run away from the situation? Do you feel that you keep taking wrong decisions in life too many times? Or do you allow others to take your decisions for you? Welcome to the Alpha Life Project. You know, this is the place where the focus is on all things you. And we have an agenda of establishing awareness, enabling analysis, and empowering action so that you can also upgrade your life. This is your fellow Alpha Lifer and host, Bala. And it's a wonderful, wonderful time for all of us to live our Alpha Life. Today's topic of discussion and introspection is effective decisions. Not everyone's cup of tea. That is correct. Taking effective decisions is not for everybody. Not everybody takes it. That's why you would find more number of people questioning their own decisions because they believe that they are not taking the best decision. Imagine. There are so many people who develop cold feet just at the thought of taking some decision that they prolong it as much as possible till the very last minute. There are so many people who do that, and there are so many people who always keep questioning themselves and whatever they think. Let's dive deeper. Let's start with a story like we always do. So I had this colleague, very smart fellow, very, very well educated, very talented, very jovial. He was always smiling, always agreeable with everyone around him. He, one of those guys who never fought with anyone else. He had never fought with anyone, never had any difference of opinion with anyone else. He was the go-to guy for everyone. Anyone needed any help, they would call this fellow only. My friend, that's right. But they would call him only for getting work done. As a result, he would always have a load of work on his shoulders, always filled with work. While, he would do it, the load just kept piling up. Even if he was facing stress because of all of this, he never told this to anyone. And because he was so agreeable, so helpful, so sweet, people only gave him more of their own work to do. Want to know what happened to this person, right? We will continue the story at the end of the podcast. So let's talk about decisions. When you say decision, the word, it implies something very critical, very big. It seems as if it's a huge thing someone just laid on you. There is some sort of weight, a lot of weight attached to this word, decision. To make a big decision. That's a kind of aura that this word has with it. Somehow people think that this is something very big in life. But this is something that is part of your life, moment to moment. Every single moment. You take decisions every single moment. Some decision or the other. Think about it. Even thinking right now is a decision for you. It is taken by you. You could have chosen not to think also. Not thinking, by the way, would also have been a decision. Listening to this podcast and to me and my lovely voice is also a decision that you have taken. Decisions are all around you. Life would really come to a standstill if you stopped taking decisions. Remember that. But only few people get the entire weight of this statement. Life would come to a standstill if you stopped taking any decisions. Now, if decisions are all around you and you need to take them every single moment of your life, then can it really be something too serious? You're not living a serious life, are you? Again, let me repeat it for you. If decisions are all around you and you need to take them every single moment of your life, then it can't be really something too serious, right? People who get this statement will progress much faster in their life than the ones who don't. So, coming back, decision is just a choice that you make or take at any point of time. It's just a choice. That's it. It is something that helps you decide what to do when you want to change the state of something that you are in at the current moment. And it helps you to move to a state that you aspire to go. So, that's it. That is all that is there about decision. But people like to pretend that they are weighing all possibilities and options before deciding on something. People make such a big deal about deciding on anything. In all probability, people decide. You already decide the course of action in your head, and you just need to give it a justification. And you try to give it a justification by bringing in a lot of data together. Think about it deeply. So if decision is just a choice, and if you need to make thousands of them every single minute, then there is nothing to be afraid of these decisions, right? The thing is, people are afraid of taking decisions today. That's right. Moreover, not everyone takes their own decisions. Think about it. Are you taking your own decision, or are you allowing others to do that for you? Again, are you taking your own decisions all the time? I don't think so. And the other aspect is that people gravitate automatically towards the easier decisions than the tough ones, taking the easy way out. This happens all the times, by the way, with everyone. You just want it very easy, and you want to look good in the eyes of others. If these two factors, remember this, if these two factors are influencing your decision-making process, you have got it all wrong, my friend. All wrong. Then, you would have come across people who dilly-dally on the decision by wanting to look at all possibilities, explore all options. In the name of being thorough, they end up being slow decision makers. And this also impacts them in some manner or the other. And then you come across people who seem to make very quick, instantaneous decisions, sudden, snap of the finger decision without worrying much about the outcomes. There are all types out there. Bottom line, decisions are all around you. And what type of person you are is also a decision. Remember that. So, let me also tell you something very important at this point. You will take loads of decisions. You will take good decisions whose outcomes will go very well for you. And you will take bad decisions whose outcomes will not go so well for you. Come to terms with it. Accept it fully. This is going to happen. It is a truth of life. There is no one in this world who takes only good decisions. Don't try to be that person. You cannot be. You will invariably take good or bad decisions. This will keep happening. Decisions are basically like feedback loops. Once you decide on a particular path or a course of action, you will need to face whatever comes in that path. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, it's a feedback loop that it is not working for you. Wrong direction. Change direction. It doesn't mean that the decision was wrong or right in any manner. These rights and wrongs, we've spoken about this earlier. I've done an episode on this completely, on how they are the pillars to the gateway to hell. When you start questioning whether this will be the right or the wrong decision, you start creating hell for yourself. So no decision is right or wrong. You just take a decision, you decide, you move. It works for you, great. It doesn't work for you, great. You get it? That's what it is. Considering the humongous number of decisions that you need to take, please understand and underline one very important thing. Don't make it so serious. Don't make each decision to be a life-changing event. It's not. It's just a decision. It's not such a weighted thing. It's very, very simple. It doesn't need to paralyze you. I have experienced this sometimes. Going to a restaurant, figuring out what to order. Man, I can't. Sitting on Netflix trying to watch something and not able to decide. It's just a decision. Also remember, each outcome contributes to your clarity. It is a feedback loop, right? Each outcome just gives you more clarity. If it is in your favor, great. If it is not in your favor, all the better, because you're clearer now that this route is not for you. There is no need to get upset with any of your decisions' outcomes. Those outcomes, they are just giving you feedback on what works, what doesn't. Again, what works and what doesn't for you needs to be your decision. Think about it. Now let's talk about right or wrong decisions. Now you would have come across people who seem to always take the correct decisions in life. These are the so-called idols. You always idolize them, right? That this guy or this person always seems to know exactly what to do. Understand one thing about all of this and all of these people. Either they are lying to you or they are not telling you the entire truth. There is no single person in this world who can manage to take all perfect and right decisions. It's just a very, very carefully cultivated narrative that they are sticking to, by the way. So stop comparing yourself to such people. They don't exist. Every single person takes right and wrong decisions. In today's world, which is dominated by social media, you will find most people trying to portray as if they were always taking perfect decisions, and their perfect life situation right now is a function of all their so-called perfect decisions. Absolutely false. Nothing could be farther away from truth. I've come across so many people who try to show as if their work careers have been so carefully crafted that each and every action that they took in their X number of years of their work career was perfectly crafted and perfectly thought through. You know what I say to this? Bull. This doesn't happen. So stop trying to reach to a perfect standard that doesn't exist. Now let's come to the sheer number of decisions that you need to take, by the way. It's huge. You are bound to take many right or favorable decisions and many wrong or unfavorable decisions, right? We just saw that. Just come to terms with it. They will go wrong. Embrace it. The key to decision making is not to try and always take the right decision. When your decisions go wrong, it's not the end of the world, by the way. You can allow yourself to make mistakes. You can forgive yourself and you can allow yourself the luxury of taking some wrong decisions. So what if you just went and bought your car that you always wanted to, and then it turned out to be not so great for you? It was just a decision, right? It's okay. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. So just allow yourself the luxury of taking some wrong decisions. Lift this weight of always wanting to take the right decisions. Sometimes things work out and sometimes some of them don't. Big deal. But don't let this make you run away from taking decisions. Don't just procrastinate. Don't postpone. For you to have a lot of right decisions, remember this, you will need to take a whole lot more number of decisions because some will go wrong, some will go right. So if you want to take 10 right decisions, let's say, you can't say that 10 out of 10 will come right. Instead, try to take 30 decisions, smaller ones. Maybe 15 out of them will come right. You will still overachieve what you wanted to do. You get it? And then the most important part, the question of reapproaching your decisions. Oh man, every single person does this. Every single person. I've also done it for the longest time. Honest disclosure, still sometimes do. Ruminating over what you had thought would happen and what actually happened. And that fulcrum point is that decision, right? Remember, it doesn't work this way. You always think that you could have decided better, but when that decision was taken, it was the best in those given circumstances. That is the main thing about decisions that one needs to understand. When you look at them in retrospect, it seems like you could have, you would have, you should have taken a different decision. But that is because you are now wiser with the element of time in your favor. When you took the decision, you did not know how things would go. And you took that decision at that time considering the available factors, parameters at that time. This is the thing about decisions. Understand this. If you get into this loop, they make you live in a world dominated by could have, should have, would have. You know what these stand for? Regret. This is all pure unreality. On an aside, that reminds me, I have already done an episode on unreality. Do listen to it if you already haven't. Enough advertising. Coming back. So always remember, there is always bound to be a factor of uncertainty. It is not a bug. It's a feature. Every decision that you take will have this factor. Remember that uncertainty is the only constant here. You will have to make peace with that. Oh, that's a lot of stuff that we've spoken about decisions, right? You translate this into your life. Pause for a moment and see how this translates for you. See how you deal with your decisions, how you take them, how you process them, how you react to them. It's extremely important for you to understand before you go about the journey of making effective decisions. That brings us to the key to take effective decisions. For you to get a lot of good, favorable decisions, the first thing you need to do is you will need to take a whole lot more of decisions, not a whole lot less. You will have to take a whole lot more, allow a lot of them to go waste, and let the good ones come out. Understand this properly. This is how it is. This is exactly how most or all successful people approach this issue. They just take a lot of decisions for them to get a few of them right. They don't take a few of them and then get all of them right. Remember this. And when some of their decisions don't go the way they thought it would, they're quick to course correct. There needs to be no attachment either to the negative outcome or the positive outcome. You just need to do what needs to be done. That's the first thing. First key to take effective decisions. Second key is stop ruing about old decisions. Yeah, you heard it right. What you decided at a previous point of time was the best for that moment. From any other frame of reference, it will only seem wrong. But for that frame of reference, it was the best one. So stop ruing about this. Imbibe this completely. Just move forward. Third point, take your own decisions always. No one can decide anything for you. Remember that. Only you can decide for your own self. Owning your own decisions is a way of showing ownership to your own self. So do you have that ownership for yourself? Fourth point, approach the decisions just like the Stoics did. Oh man, they're my favorite tribe, the Stoics. Know that some of your decisions will go right and some of them will go wrong, not as per how you want. Give that leeway for the uncertainty factor to play out. This will keep you very nimble. Fifth, and one of my most favorite ones, which I practice absolutely every single day, remove yourself from the equation. This is one of my most favorite ones, but it's a very, very important one. Every single time you bring yourself into the picture, into the equation, you also bring in a lot of subjectivity, a lot of your own self, a lot of your own insecurities. Instead, take a decision as an outsider by removing yourself from the equation. This is again how the Stoics used to do it, I guess. At least I do it. How can we have an episode without bringing or learning something from science or maths, right? Cartesian coordinates. Straight out of the textbook. Now, this is another thing that we can learn from maths. When people take decisions, they think that they only need to look at two parts. What is not going right for them right now, that is what is going wrong for them right now, and what could go right for them once they take the decision. But it's not a 1x2 matrix, it's a 2x2 matrix, and that's why I said Cartesian coordinates. Look it up if you're interested, if you don't know about it. There are always 4 aspects and not 2, and you need to consider all these 4 aspects. So what are these 4 things that you need to evaluate before taking a decision? What is going right now? What is going wrong now? What could go right once you take the decision? What could go wrong once you take the decision? You see how the 2x2 matrix works? When you consider all these aspects, you will be able to take a more balanced view and decision in those given circumstances. So continuing with the metaphor, the example that I was giving, the story of my colleague, turned out that he wasn't willing to take his own decisions. He wasn't owning his decisions. He was allowing everyone else to decide for him, and they did. He couldn't complain, right? Because he wasn't owning his own life, and this kept him deeply unhappy, but he never showed it. Even though he made a show of how jovial and agreeable he was, deep inside, he was just not okay with all this. He did change. The day he started putting his foot down and taking his own decisions, he completely turned over a new leaf, man. Then he was a joy to work with. Believe me. So let's watch the movie of your life. Just suppose, imagine that you were to continue taking ineffective decisions in your life. What if you were to do this continuously like you've always been doing? How does your life look like over the next few months or the next few years? And just suppose if you were to start taking very effective decisions right from this moment onwards, what if this were to happen for you? How would life look like for you in the next coming months and years? Which is a movie that you would like to watch? Which is a movie that you would like to make? And while you're thinking of all these things, think about who have you become by constantly questioning your own decisions, and who could you possibly become if you were to develop a better understanding of how to take decisions effectively. Why is this so important for you? How would you like to start taking effective decisions right from today? And what steps would you like to take right away? You see, the entire question is about ownership. Owning your decisions, owning the outcomes of these decisions, owning yourself and everything else around you. This ownership that you choose to display could very well be the best decision of your life. Thank you for listening in. If you like to whatever you're listening to here, please pay it forward, share it with people in your circle, your tribe. This could be one of the ways that you could contribute to their life becoming an alpha life. Once again, welcome to your Alpha Life project.